Okay, hello and welcome. All right, I just unzipped the class 3 brain pack that I just sent you, and I will go step by step installing all the commands just to make sure that it will work. I'm opening up the readme.md file, which should contain, all right, which contains all the commands needed to install this. All right, the first command that is given me is to use node-v. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to type node-v and see what happens. All right, it says bash node command not found. Perfect. So since I am using a Linux machine, I will use this. All right. If you see me looking from screen to screen, it's because I have the commands in this screen, in a screen over here, and the terminal screen is right in front of me. So it's not that I am crazy moving my head around. It's just that I am copy and pasting the command. All right, I just installed the commands for Linux in the README file. There's also the commands for the Mac and the commands from the for Windows. In this case, WSL, the commands practically the same. So, all right, let me close the terminal and open it up again so I can continue. Okay, now I'm in a new terminal. So let's do it again. Let's copy this commands here. Copy and paste. All right, it will take some time. So, all right, it's installed. Now let's go to close the terminal again and open it up again. Here we are again in a new terminal. So let's run two commands again. Perfect. Now we will install Clocode. I'll fast forward it. Oh, I didn't have to fast forward it. There you go. It's installed. Now in the README file, it says that on the third part, we will install Docker in Linux. So we will follow the steps. But just to make sure that if you're installing in Windows or something else, let's try to make sure that it's installed correctly. So you just write these two commands and it shall give you a list of whatever is installed on the system. All right. I already installed Docker on this machine, but we will go installing Docker on Linux just in case. One thing that I didn't write was that just run Claude for the first time before running this next command, just to make sure that you will be using your subscriptions or your API keys or everything, and it won't prompt you when you run Claude for the first time. Just before running this next command, just run Claude. It will ask you for your authentication and everything. Once you authenticate, then you can run the next command that I will show you. Okay, what I am doing here is basically what I always do. I tell Claude to analyze that file. Once we exit Claude, we will install that file. It is safe to, I will say, reinstall Docker if it is already installed. So since it was already installed in this computer, I am just rerunning it so you know exactly the output that you will get. And again, they will take some time to install, and I will fast forward until it finish. Okay, now it's finished. You know what? You don't need to see my ugly face in the screen all the time, so I will remove myself from the picture and just leave the audio on, okay? So, perfect. All right, now that Docker is installed, we will just type these commands and it should work. Perfect. Did it say up? It says up. It says up. Perfect. 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 Okay, now we will try the next commands and see if it works. I should get 200, which is good. Even 404 would be fine, but the 200 is great. The next one will be perfect. And since this machine is a headless machine, so instead of connecting to localhost 5678, I will be connected to the browser using my local machine. So here we are. Now let's give it some let's create an account. Email. Here you will use your own email address. Of course, your own name. And your very own secure password. If you use Google Chrome, it will suggest very hard to guess password, but since this is for testing purposes only, I will use a much safer password. I try to remember it. Safe login. I will use just in case. Here. One thing that I should mention is that you should, you must open an account in OpenRouter or OpenRouter, depending on the where you live, .ai, and add some add some money on it. It for $10 it will be more than enough. So because that is what we will use to power some of the stuff that we will be using, and go to openrouter.ai, open an account, create a key, add some money, and go ahead. It will, if you don't add money, it will fail and it will not give you the reason why it fails. So if it fails on the open router setting, just make sure that you have credits on the account. Once you've done that, let's create let's go to credentials. Where is it? Where is the credentials? New credential, new header out. Uh, Continue. Name. Let's type OpenRouter. In value, just type your key here. And that's it. So basically we had just finished up the setup of the things that we will be using so far. So, so far, so good. No errors, no nothing with the commands that are on the readme.md file. Now let's go back to the terminal screen. Here we are. Now, let's see. If this works. All right. Let's go to my unzip file. Oops, I think I got the. Oh, yes. I wrote. Let's do it again. Okay. Now I am in the directory, in the correct directory. So let's try to do it again. Perfect. All right. It ran without any problems. So let's confirm that everything is correct. All right. Everything is correct so far. Now let's make a small test and see if, okay, perfect. It returned what it was expected. It was 1, 0, and -1. You could also let Clockcode do this. Just there's a in the prompt folder. There's a p1-schema.md. That's the prompt for Clockcode. You can also tell Clockcode to run and it should give you the same, to run the program, it should give you the same results. Now, this next command, it says docker compose cp slash path slash tube slash pack slash docs. In that part, you should use the correct or the exact path that you are using, or you just unzip your files. That slash part is a generic part. You must change that. So make sure that you change that part to the your correct folder, okay? It's important. In my case, this is the correct path. So again, in your case, this will vary. This will you will use your own path here. All right, now we have two options here. We can tell Clockcode to process one prompt, or we can go into NAEnt and import the JSON file. So what I will do better, and it's easier, just tell Clockcode to import the p2-ingest.md on the file. So that is what we are going to do. All right, I just paste the prompt and now we wait. So let's test it. All right, let's copy the files that we need. Okay, now we run this command. Again, making sure that this is your correct path. This is the path where you unzip the file that I gave you, okay? Perfect. Right. Now that we have the files in there, make sure that everything is correct. And it's split. I must run the ingest JSON. Hold on. I skip a step. You see what happens when you skip a step? It doesn't give you the correct results, right? What we will do, oh no, I think I have the wrong screen all the time. Hold on. Okay, let's go. Let's type. Okay, let's put the documents in the container because right now the system does not see or cannot see your computer. So what we will do is we will copy the files from the zip file that we just unzip in the system into here. Remember to put your own folder here. This is my path. Your path will be different. Your path is different. If you need to find where your path is, well, depending on your computer, you just find it and use it. There you go. We just copied all the files on the system, and now that we know that the files are copied, we already ran the cloud. We will run the cloud code. Command. We will now paste the prompt it will probably tell me that I already ran this prompt, so anyway, we will run it again. In the README file is the the prompt or where the prompt is located. So you just open the file that's p2-ingest.md and paste it into cloud and that's it. You can also, there's also on the demo folder, there's a 05-kb-ingest.json, which is the what we are building right now. It's the same file that, so you can do whichever you want. I prefer to let Cloud build it so it can save it into memory. One note that I want to, while this continue to work, one note that I want to tell you is I am using auto mode on. I created the files. I know they're safe, so I can use auto mode on because they're my files, they're my creation. I know what is in them. Again, if you're using someone else's prompt, someone else's file, do not use auto mode on. As I previously stated, there are some bad people on the internet creating malicious code and bad prompts. And if you and one bad prompt could damage your computer, could compromise your computer, and one bad prompt can even make your computer unusable. So you have to reinstall everything. And so make sure that you're not do that you do not use auto mode on someone else's prompts. I am using it because I know that it's mine and I know what is in it. So in your case, I'll show you some other the different the different types of modes that they are. All right, it's finished. I can show you. Right, if you tap Shift Tab, it will show you the different types of modes that you have. For example, this is the auto mode, the one that I'm using. Manual mode, accept edits, plan mode, and auto mode. Depending on what you're using, well, just choose whatever you see fit on the for the prompt or the system that you're using. Okay, now let's continue. All right, I just inserted or ran the prompt. So let's see what is the result. Okay, now let's switch to NAN. And here it is. Okay, let's do the next step. Let's switch back to my terminal screen. Okay, let's run the command. Perfect. It ran successfully. Now let's go to the terminal. And let's see if it works the way it should. So where am I? Okay, here it is. Perfect. Now let's run this other command. Just to make sure that everything is fine. It should return 1536. All right, 1536. Excellent. Everything is fine. Perfect. And I think we have been recording for a long time, so I will cut the video here so you can all take a break. Anyways, you can pause the video anytime you want and recheck everything, but I will pause the video here and we'll continue on the part 3 in another video. Thanks for watching.